Alright, well, greetings everyone out there in YouTube land. Welcome to another video. Today I am out here. This is December 26th, day after Christmas. It's a gorgeous day out here, a little breezy, but I came back out to do some re-investigating of places that I was previously at. And if the background here looks a little bit familiar, yeah, I was back here in August or September, but I'll put the link to the other video that's up there. I'm over here at Union Meadows East Park, which is outside of Birdsboro in Union Township, and I came over here to reinvestigate two things. One, to check out the canal, the Schuylkill Canal, which is right behind me here since everything is dead, and also to check out the bridge that is completed now on the Schoolkill River Trail, and also to find out where the exact spur that ran off of the Pensy line went back to the abandoned quarry, which is back on French Creek State Park. So it's winter time, everything's dead now. I can actually do this, and we ought to be able to see a bunch of stuff today. So I am not alone.
We meaning me.
Yeah, as always, there's RJ78 Productions. He's with me. I wanted to bring him over here and check this out because I figured he would enjoy this little bit of history, or whatever you want to call it, over here. So, and the link to his channel, as always, will be down there in the description field. So let's get started and start checking out the area once again. All right, so starting off here at the park, this is the entranceway to it off of 724, and you come down here, and when the leaves aren't on the trees and the undergrowth, you can actually see the whole canal going through there. Back through there, and I showed this in my previous video, and where I'm standing right here, it's a little bit narrower when they put this road in here, but I got a little footbridge here that I'm on too. But looking down through here is where the actual canal was, and this is the actual width of it right here. And here's some information on the Schoolkill Navigation Company from one of the information boards that they have here at the park. And if you come here, they got those little codes there that you can scan with your phone and get more information. And they got a board here with some information about the township of Union.
Check that. It's the dredge.
Yep.
Huh.
And they dredged the river.
For it inside. Kind of reminds me of what's his name in Gold Rush with his dredges.
Because that's the dredging there, like they did down in Saratoga where the silt basin was down there.
Okay.
And that covered bridge there was over, if you saw my the one video I did of Merlatin Village, that was the covered bridge that was over there, and I'll put a link to that at the top of the screen. And then this part of the board here pretty much tells you about the Schoolkill River Trail, which it starts all the way down in Philadelphia, and there's sections of it that are complete. The bold red line there is where it's all completed. There's sections of it that needs to be updated because part of this here is complete now, and there's sections up through Hamburg here that's now complete. But when it is complete, it'll go from Philadelphia all the way up to Pottsville. And where we're at right now in Union Township, this is mile marker 49.85. So roughly 50 miles from Philadelphia is where we're at. So just a short way down from the information boards up there, I'm following it down here to see how far the canal actually goes, and it actually dead ends right here on this person's property. The canal's right here and it ends, but if it would have continued on, it would have continued on down and over 724, because 724 was built on top of the canal. So this is where it ends right here. Later on in the video, we'll probably walk up the trail a little bit further. This trail that's right here in front of me actually just does a loop and goes around the back of the park towards the Schuylkill River and comes back out. To gain access to the rail trail and the old Pensy line, you got to go out there, and then it goes back up onto the railroad bed, because over here is where it crossed 724 and would have ran straight across through the park here, but they destroyed the right-of-way when they built the Fork and Nail restaurant there, so they actually had to make a loop and come down here and go back out and get back on it again. Alright, so when you do come over here, just watch the traffic on 724, but where I am standing, straight across is the rail bed, which actually went right behind that restaurant there. So in the back, where that wooden fence is where the rail line would have ran at one time, and then came across 724 and continues on down that way, which we're going to be venturing down that path. And I found our first sign of the railroad, of its existence. Right up in there is an old railroad tie laying. I'll zoom in on it. I couldn't see that when I was here in the summer, but there's an old rail tie laying there. It might even be a piece of a one of the telegraph poles laying there too, but there's definitely a piece of rail tie there. So even has nature's carpet growing on it. There you go, Jay. All right, just looking around here, RJ actually spotted this, and I couldn't see this in the summertime, but right there is a cement wall of a culvert that actually ran underneath and goes through there, but I can't get any real good pictures of it because this is all overgrown and everything. There's no easy way of getting down there, but I found an old junk pile over in the back here while I was trying to get down there, and I'm pretty sure I found a big lump of coal over here too. So we'll walk over here, and pretty sure that's a nice lump of coal there. At least it looks like it to me. I'll see when RJ comes down if he thinks the same thing. So yeah, RJ picked it up, and the weight of it and everything, that is definitely a large lump of coal that we found laying along here.
We'll save that for the coal cracker.
Yeah, coal cracker. If you see this, video, there it is. We put it back where we found it, and right across from where we found the coal. And you can see them. There's more rail ties laying along there. In fact, there's looks like a whole bunch of them laying along there that are all rotted and decaying away. Be nice if we could find some rail laying along here, but I don't think that's going to happen. And I just got done saying that I don't think we're going to find any rail along here. I spoke too soon. And again, you can't see this when everything's grown, but this used to be where we came off of 724. This used to be a lumber yard in here. I think it might have been A.D. Moyer at one time. What it was before that, I don't know. But right there is a little trestle. Hopefully it comes out on the camera, but I'll zoom in. And there are rails there yet. Can't believe they're still in existence, and it looks like it pretty much goes out and just dead ends right here. So I don't know if this was it being up like that, and there's cement foundations down in there, cinder block walls. It looks like this might have been a coal drop at one time. That would explain why we found the coal on the other side of the trail over here. But yeah, just a short little spur that goes in there and ends. All right, so I can't do an alignment here with the spur, only because we just discovered the area over there is private property and it is posted. But if you look, you can see that it's pretty wide here. So this spur would have went right along here to go into that lumber yard and goes back there, and it's actually a driveway to somebody's house back there, and they have signs posted keep out and everything, so I can't do an actual alignment of the spur, but this is as close as I'm going to get to it. This still isn't the spur I'm looking for. The spur's further down the trail yet. All right, so we found where it came off of the main line here. Right in front of me is there's a rail tie there. Back in there is another rail tie. So this would have been the spur right here, feeding off of the main line just right about down there where I'm pointing. All right, so RJ found this one, and I actually missed it, but I'll zoom in. Right there is an old telegraph pole from the railroad. And he said there was another one around here too, although I don't see it.
Look right up in here, you can see the one that I just spotted.
Oh, yep, right up in there.
There's a telegraph pole right there.
Yep, there's one right there yet. Remains of one. All right, so we found another, we're finding a bunch of telegraph poles, and I thought they removed these in the 1960s, but I guess they didn't take them out, because it still has, you can't really see it that well, but there is a piece hanging one of the cross beams on it, and there's actual remains of it laying right on the ground there. But so far we found about 4 telegraph poles along here since we started here, and I was not expecting that at all.
I bet there's more.
All right, so while RJ was up there filming that pole, I just came to the conclusion as to why that telegraph pole was so far away from the rail bed here, and that is what the reason why is because I just found the spur I was looking for. And I got to try and find more remains of it, see if there's any remains. I couldn't find any ballast, but this spur would have went right through here and go back to that quarry, which is what we're going to be investigating more today. As further down the trail here, you can see there's the cutout, the signature cutout of the main line here. And when you get further down, you can see the cutout in the back there, and there's also a cutout on this side, so there's actually a mound here as well. So this would have been this spur going back to that quarry. So now we got to find some leftovers here, or artifacts, to prove my theory. And RJ found interesting stuff. He found actual pieces of insulators from up there.
Sadly broken, obviously.
Yeah, sadly broken, but there's still pieces of it. All right, so I got some evidence here to back up my theory, but right there is, they also used, you know, real fine coal to line railroad beds back in the day and everything. So there, that is there. And you probably can't see it that good on the camera, but there's a berm here and then the cutout back there. So this would have been the spur. I'm not sure if it was a single track or a double track that went back through here, but we're going to keep looking for more evidence. All right, made it back over the berm, and the berm ends here, and the berm ends right over there. This looks like there could have been 2 tracks going back through here, but I can't find any signs of rail or anything. But this is definitely showing, definitely part of the spur. All right, so that cutout might have went back a little bit further than what I planned, but lo and behold, there is a culvert there. So there's the evidence that I was looking for. Yeah, and we're also probably standing on one right here, but that's the culvert from the spur, so that was definitely a wide area. Wish I could get back there further to see actually how wide that thing is. So yeah, I come down here and check this culvert out. This is actually an old stone culvert that goes underneath. and right over there is a piece of rail sticking up. But we're gonna have to see if we can get over there and check that culvert out, because I'm pretty sure this is public land over here. This is part of French Creek State Park. So we're gonna see if we can get in here and walk here and check that culvert out, because I'm really interested in that more. All right, we made it down here to this culvert. This actually goes back, and it looks like there's a dog leg to the left.
Oh yeah.
How cool is this? And we are on public land. We're on French Creek State Park property right now. But yeah, we got a big concrete slab we're standing on here.
Right here, it fell from
Oh,
here.
it fell. That was part of the culvert that fell here.
Yeah.
So you can't see. If I zoom in, you might be able to see the
Right here, down
the opening there of that. The other culvert.
here and got pushed over probably from the roots from this tree.
But there's no date on it here or anything. But
we have
it's open,
dry.
and
So what we're seeing is the dog legs to the left of it.
we're going to go in and check this out. All right, I'm going to keep the camera rolling, and hopefully it's picking up the acoustics in here. I didn't come prepared because I didn't think we'd find a culvert like this. Silly me, I should have known better, but RJ,
Well, you know, we never come prepared.
yeah, RJ's sticking his light out, but we're going to go through and
Probably die quick. We'll see.
I want to check this out. I want to see where the end of this is, because this is a dog leg to the left going up here. Just wish I could find a date on it somewhere. Maybe when we come out the other side up here. RJ, you really won't need a light. No. We're going to come out the other side here, and maybe we'll get lucky and there'll be a date on the other end here. It's not a very long culvert, but still an interesting one with the dog leg on it. And looks like there's a, I'm not sure if it's the way it was built. RJ brings his light here, we'll have to look. I can see it. Looks like there's a shelf right here or something. I'm not sure if that was built like that or if it's actually the earth pushed out.
The form.
All right, now RJ got his camera here, and no, that's concrete.
That is concrete. What that is the form bowed when they poured it.
Now look at that.
So that's how it shaped.
Yep.
It's shaped to the bow of the form. You can see where the wood slats were for the form. All these lines were where the wooden forms were. But that's what it looks like to me, is when they poured it.
Yeah, it bowed out. Something pushed on it, and
Yeah. Well, it looks like they had a pretty good span there, so they probably didn't have enough support in it. Looks like a
That's an old-
anchor.
yeah, an old anchor bolt.
Yeah. That was probably from the forms.
Yeah. All right, so RJ's coming out, and I'll go back in. There's the area here where we're at. There was actually an extension put on. There's steel here, and and RJ's gonna bang his head off of it.
I'm not that crazy.
I got steel cables right here
It's a steel anaconda.
that went up top. But
Me in the back of the head.
yeah, we're at a roadblock here because this is,
Very overgrown.
yeah, very overgrown, very thorny, and I'm not walking through that.
At least it's thorny and not the other.
But yeah, if you look back in, part way back there, you can see where the walls would have ended. But no date, unfortunately.
They probably
Which is
covered it back there.
Yeah, when they probably put the addition on here, they
Looks
probably
like it was
covered it
that
up.
long, too.
But this is cool. So here is where
This was a walkway, I guess.
the addition was put on this side. And even out there, you can see where there's the angle right there where the walls were put on later after it was built.
So we'll probably just go right back to
So yeah, it just makes me wonder. I thought looking at overhead aerial photography from back in the late 1940s, early 1950s showed 2 tracks, but I'm not quite sure because the length of this culvert would definitely mean there were more tracks here. But there's the evidence that I was looking for. Success.
Proof positive.
All right, so we climbed out of the culvert and came up top, and right down there is where we were. But we're not going to go any further because this is just way too overgrown. So this whole area here, it looks like there's a couple, I want to say flat areas with a berm and then a flat area with another berm. So I don't know if the rails were separate, all one part, but there had to be multiple rails back through here, going back to this, going back to the quarry.
We found it.
Yeah, I'm a happy camper. All right, so we walked through the woods, decided the bushwhack and everything. So you can actually see when they built the trail, there is a cutout here a little bit, not much of a hump or anything, but I showed this in the previous video. There's the rail bed. So that would have continued on down towards the quarry, crossed over Shed Road and a couple other roads down that way. And more evidence is going to be right here in front of us. Right here is the ballast.
Oh yeah.
So that I found when I was here in the summer. But this has been a successful day, so I actually found proof and got more documentation on the quarry spur that was over here. So provided we don't find anything else interesting, the next time we'll come back to you, we'll be down at 724 where the new bridge is constructed across 724 for the trail. You know, I take RJ to these places and everything, and we walk through the woods, and why is it we always come across abandoned vehicles like this? And then the question is, how did it get here?
And both times it was a beetle.
And both, yeah, it was a beetle.
Except this one's more intact than the last one.
But they probably pushed it down before the trail was built.
Oh, sure. Look, there's a refrigerator.
I forget exactly when this trail was actually established, but the trail's right up here.
What's funny is it looked like they
And then the trail that goes back to French Street State Park's right up there too. But obviously they probably pushed it back the trail here and dumped it here. But yeah, another abandoned vehicle in the woods.
Poor Herb.
All right, so we're coming down the trail and we're coming to our next destination, but you can see the bridge off there in the distance, which is now done. And you saw my other video that was under construction when I was here in August, but there is another telegraph pole. That's the first one I've seen in a while, but there's another one. And I just got done explaining it in RJ's video, but I'll explain it once again. This what down here looks like a culvert was there for the, there was an aqueduct there that was built for the canal because 724 in this particular area was built on top of the Union Canal. So that wasn't put in for the road. That was there for a long time. But we're going to venture across this new bridge and check everything out. And they really did a good job with it. And this is the plaque that was put here. So that was a doctor that had something to do with this bridge being constructed here, because before you had to come off the trail over there, come out and cross over 724, and it was just dangerous. So they have this constructed now, which they did an excellent job with. But again, these were in my previous video. Hopefully you can see them there. I know it's difficult with the fence, but the stone wall there is the remains of the original bridge for the Pennsylvania Railroad that crossed over 724. The ones on the other side of the bridge were briefly uncovered, but were covered up again when they started doing more construction. And then the canal would have been right over there where my finger's pointing. The canal would have came around and out here on the 724.
This was for the telegraph.
Oh, okay, so that was a battery storage, so that solves that mystery.
I found that when I did the Bartram area.
Right.
And I didn't know what it was. I didn't find that out until watching another video recently.
Okay.
Batteries were stored in here. The box probably was mounted there.
Yeah, because there's the concrete slabs over there, so.
We do have a pole right there.
What RJ was saying,
Telegraph pole.
I found this in the summer when I was here and I wasn't sure what it was for, but he said they would store batteries in there and there was a box there, which is in conjunction with, there's another telegraph pole over there, so that's what that was used for. It was battery storage. All right, so this is going to be the last stop here before we turn around and head back to our videos, but since it is winter time, I know I showed this before in the previous video, but this is all down here is private property, so we can't venture down there, but there you can see the remains of the canal. Obviously here, this was filled in over the years, and was construction of 724 was all but, you know, basically destroyed, but you get the idea. You can see it going off down through there. You can see the cutout for it. So we are going to turn around and head back to our videos and try and catch some more of the canal on the other side of the park before we lose daylight, because this definitely took longer today than I expected with finding everything. So when I was here in the summer and they had all the construction going on up there, they had a bunch of sandstone up there that they used, that you've seen in my other videos when we come to the bridges and everything, the red sandstone. So they had a bunch of them piled up there, and I think there's some out there, but they actually repurposed some of them here for like decoration, just like for a retaining wall to keep it from eroding away. It's actually good that they found a lot of stuff to repurpose. Some of these here are also remains of the bridge abutment. And RJ found this too. This looks like this is probably some more of the red sandstone right there, which was probably put in maybe when the railroad was built, I'm guessing. I don't think they would have put it in from the... He's thinking it was probably put in when the railroad was here, because it's got a lot of dirt on it and everything, years of wear. So, a couple pieces going through there. All right, so we made it back to the parking area, so now we're going to venture out this way, out on this roundabout trail to get back onto the rail trail again. Since I didn't explore this area, I figured I'm here, I might as well bang this out quick. Still some more shots of the canal along here, so we'll see what we'll find. All right, so coming up the trail here from the parking lot, you can still see some more remains of the canal that's along here, going up through and up the ways there. And there's probably in the springtime, I'd be willing to bet there's some of those black turtles. I call them black because their shells are all black. I know there's a name for them, but I can't remember the name of it, but I'm sure there'd be a bunch of them in here along this, but still some remains here yet. All right, so we came up from the parking area down there, and this is where the trail goes back up to the rail trail up there, and we're crossing over the remains of the canal here, so there's a little bridge here for it. But the Union Loop Trail, which just goes out and goes back and around the back of the park and comes back to the parking area, I am not going to explore that now because I don't think there's really anything back there that's interesting or historic or anything abandoned. So we're going to walk up here onto the trail a little bit and explore a little bit more, and then we're going to wrap this video up. All right, so we came up the trail. This is where the railroad would have continued on, but they had to put this loop in because they built a restaurant on top of the right-of-way. And they have a gate there, and there's a sign there that says emergency and authorized vehicles only, although I don't know why, because that's all private property. But there's another remain of a telegraph pole ahead there, and it's got some insulators on it, but that is on private property, so we won't be venturing off the trail.
Yeah, we can't reach them anyway.
All right, coming along here, RJ just spotted these little platforms here, And this very well could have been maybe a lighting system, because you can see a circle there where a base would have been. So maybe this was some form of signal, although I don't know why they would have signals, because this was all single track through here. But yeah, that's interesting. You see those foundations there, whatever it was used for. There's one of the signs they have up for the culvert that's here. So I guess they're going to be at some point in time, when they receive funds for it, rehabilitating this culvert, which we're not going to go down and investigate this one, because I think this is private property yet on this side. I don't think we're on township property yet, but that's one of the signs. So at some point this is going to get worked on. All right, so sometimes when I'm trying to do this, you can't get trying to get the actual alignment of where the actual railroad was versus the trail can be a little tricky. So sometimes the trail deviates a little bit and zigzags, but the way I'm lined up now would have been straight with the railroad, where the rail would have ran down where you see that bicyclist going. So I'm standing actually where the rails would have been. Like I said, sometimes the trail deviates a little bit off of the actual bed, but it is a perfect alignment.
People are going to get confused
to
because I was just saying that about right here.
To over there. So I got the perfect alignment from the looks of it.
No, I do.
And RJ, I saw that RJ's over getting a closer look, but that's looks like some kind of mile marker or something or other. It's got some engraving on the top, but I don't want to really venture over that far because it is in somebody's backyard, but looks like a mile marker. All right, well, that's going to wrap it up for this video. So hopefully you enjoyed this reinvestigation over here along the Schuylkill Canal and the section of the Schuylkill River Trail along the old Pennsylvania Railroad. So today was a big success. Found a lot of stuff that I wasn't expecting to find, and found some stuff that did want to check out and everything. So today was a huge success, and it took longer than what I thought. I had some other places to go to and film, but I don't think we're going to them today anymore. So you never know what happens when you come out here looking for this stuff, especially now that everything's dead and you can't you know, you can actually see into places and everything. So my thanks to RJ for tagging along on this. Be sure to go check out his video. The link will be at down in the description. So until next time, it's have a ball and do it all. We'll see you soon.